Common diseases like DME, AMD, how should those be treated? What should be the agents of choice and why? Biosimilars have entered a big way. Newer molecules have also come which promise a larger duration of action. So I'll just give a brief overview for 3-4 minutes. You see, long time back, Michelson identified one factor X which existed in retina that controlled the development of new vessels. And this was nothing but VEGF. And VEGF, Napoleon Ferreira, way back, he actually was a gynecologist who worked as a researcher in Genentech. He and his colleagues were the first to isolate VEGF. VEGF, we all understand, it's produced by the body, and it's necessary for normal physiological processes also. But it's also involved in a lot of pathological processes, like development of blood supply in tumors, formation of new vessels in ARMD, and so on and so forth. So VEGF, remember, is required for some physiological processes, but if in excess, it can, play havoc. So hence the role came of anti-VEGF agents to help in the angiogenesis as well as permeability issues. And anti-VEGF agents, Philip Rosenfield is credited with primarily work on Avastin actually. But since then, there has been actually a reign of anti-VEGFs. And we are lucky to be living in an era where today we have options today. We have choices today. You see on the left side, I have tried to put in anti-VEGF agents, which I call them as first generation anti-VEGFs. You see, Macugen was the first one to get an FDA clearance, but no longer used because the efficacy was not very high. It only slowed down. It never had a graph going up from visual acuity point of view. Then Avastin off-label is in practice by a lot of people, and is still the commonest drug used in the US by more than 60% US ophthalmologists. Lucentis, thanks to that Marina Anchor trial long time back, gained a lot of popularity, and now we have biosimilars also. Eylea has gained eminence primarily because of, because of that protocol T study. It showed eminence, efficacy above the Avastin, above Lucentis also. On the right side, I have listed drugs which are so-called second generation anti-VEGF agents, where the promise of longer duration is there. Brolucimab, then Faricimab came in January of this year only. Aflibercept HD or 8 milligram is although approved but not yet available in India. Then whole lot of biosimilars have entered, not only in India, but in US also. A lot of biosimilars of ranibizumab have been approved for usage. So all these agents just work for two processes primarily. One is permeability issue, other is the new vessel. Faricimab also promises some vascular stability also from the point of view of scarring that may be important. So anti-VEGFs today, believe me, have revolutionized, and it is right in front of our eyes. For last 2 decades, all of us have had experience to treat a plethora of ocular angiogenic processes, and has a favored treatment for wet AMD, IPCV. And since the time PDT has become unavailable, the monotherapy with anti-VEGFs is the treatment of choice today. Then DME or even DR, even diabetic retinopathy, these severity scales people have studied. RVOs, myopic CNVMs, even ROP. So they have become a boon for retinal disease and is the first line of management in a lot of these diseases. As I said, Macugen or Pegaptanib came in 2004, but it didn't see the light of the day because it didn't improve vision. And today the market is flooded with number of anti-VEGFs, as I showed. And in a whole lot of conditions, they are the first line of management also. So as I said, I would like to divide based on duration of action, bevacizumab, ranibizumab on the left side, and these are the years of FDA approval, and lucky to have the second generation also, brolucimab, faricimab, and aflibercept. You see, RCTs have proven the efficacy and safety of all these molecules. But remember, anti-VEGF treatment is not a one-time treatment that you give one injection. Therefore, counseling has a very important role to play, and you have to spend time with the patient. What should patient expect, and what the cost issues also you can discuss. Therefore, repeated injections are required, and because of this repetition, sometimes compliance becomes poor. And we have to ensure, because as of today, this is the only treatment for these conditions, and to ensure compliance, I think you need to enter into dialogue with the patient, but what should he be expecting? Then jumped in biosimilars. The advantage of biosimilars was not only comparable cost, safety, duration, but cost effectiveness, because all these innovator molecules they have some limited period for which the patent is there. After that, it's open to the market for production by other laboratories also. And biosimilars, India is proud to say India was the first country to introduce biosimilar of ranibizumab long time back. This was done by Intas, and subsequently a lot of trade names are available, which are listed here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So many are available, and all of them want their pie. And there is a tough competition from the point of view of rates of these biosimilars. And even FDA, there are this BioViz and Crimelari, which have been approved in US also. As I said that the patent for this innovator molecules is limited, and the patent for Lucentis expired some time back, and Eylea is likely to expire this year. So a lot of competition again is, a lot of companies are manufacturing, have started putting their brain behind it, doing trials for Eylea biosimilar also, and soon we'll have that. As far as safety, because safety is of paramount concern in all these conditions. As far as these biosimilars are concerned, all of them had their, even Razumab had that tough time initially, but now Razumab, everybody is using right, left, and center, and they're pretty safe. All of them are approved drugs, and these biosimilars have the potential to at least, make some dent in Avastin usage, because Avastin is not FDA approved, whereas all the biosimilars are FDA approved. So by chance, if something happens, if you have used an FDA approved molecule, you can't be, sued in the court of law. So with this, I'll, close my presentation of this.